Hey guys, what's going on? I'm King Sway, and welcome to another RPG horror story. Today we have for you, Stingy Wizard refuses to cast spells and complains the combat is unbalanced. We're going to jump right into this one, so here we go. This story happened a couple of years back during an online game. The party got together and all the players seemed cool, even the Wizards player, who would turn out to be the problem player. He was fine at first though. Things began to take a turn during our first combat encounter of the game, where two party members were down by a couple of lucky crits from a band of kobolds we were facing. We were only level 2 at the time. At this point, Wizard starts loudly muttering under his breath that this encounter was too hard and that the DM was out to get us. But what does the Wizard do to even help the odds out? Does he cast a spell? Nope. Any spell? No. He does the same thing he's been doing the whole encounter and just keeps casting Firebolt. Yeah, no. Firebolt? Okay. Look, moving on. We pulled through in the end, but this began a trend in which the Wizard player refused to use any sort of spell or class resource to turn things to his favor, but would loudly complain when he failed. He'd insist on being party face despite his negative charisma. How the fuck? What the fuck am I reading? Oh, okay, back. Okay. His negative charisma, and then complain to the DM that the DM set the DC too high when he fails persuasion checks. He'd be so stingy with both money. I can't. This is hell. He'd be stingy with money and spell slots to the point where he'd be nickel and diming every transaction and constantly haggle for more money as reward for quests. I think he only cast a spell one time that I can recall during the whole game, even sparing a single hit die during a short rest was something he hummed and hawed about for over 15 minutes. It was like pulling teeth with this guy. Things finally came to a head during an encounter in which the Wizard was cut off from the rest of the party and surrounded. And what does the Wizard do? Not a damn thing. Does he use any sort of AoE spell to get rid of the wounded enemies about him? Does he use Misty Step to get away to safety? Does he disengage and try to get to the party? Nope. See what I tell you. I read these as I go along. We're gonna get to that later. He does the same thing he does and just casts Firebolt at the closest enemy 5 feet away from him. Really? Seriously? No. Okay. The whole party was begging him to do something other than cast Firebolt. And again, he just simply angrily told us, "Don't tell me how to play my character! Gosh!" Rolling with disadvantage, the attack missed. Wizard is down the next turn despite the party actually catching up to him, and the Wizard freaks out, calling the DM a killer DM. Blaming the party for not supporting him, insisting there was nothing else he could have done. Yeah, okay, you have spells, you're a wizard. Saying the fight was unfair to begin with, and that everyone was ganging up on him, and he didn't understand why. Before we could respond to any of his rant, he disconnects and he blocks all of us. I'm sure he's still out there somewhere, penny pinching everything he can in a D&D campaign. TLDR, player refuses to use any kind of class resources, hamstrings himself, then complains the game is too hard. What the flying flip. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I couldn't even contain myself during this one from laughing. Those of you that have been with me for a while know that I don't have a script. I don't record these. I record these live. Like, I read this off. You guys get my thoughts and impressions on the matter, and I read it as I go along. As I'm pretty sure I said "what the hell" or "what the fuck" once or twice during. I completely laughed because I'm sitting here like, again, you're playing Dungeons and Dragons is some sort of power fantasy. You want to imagine yourself as a powerful wizard. You want to go and cast spells that obliterate and decimate your enemies before you. How do you expect a cantrip to be the only thing you can? I would assume that they were, I don't want to say I'll say newbie players. Because the first thing I think about, I'm a game breaker type. I try to make builds that break the game. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. My son, Slayer Gaming, you've heard me mention him a few times on this channel. He tries to deal with them as best he can, but he throws a lot of stuff at us. But the thing about that is, you got to look at things. Like, I look at things. Spell Initiate, it's in 5.0. It's where you, if you cast spells, you can take a spell from another class and use it as your own. It's a great and wholly, fully wonderful tool. I actually use it to cast Eldritch Blast as a cantrip, and I get all the properties of Eldritch Blast as it levels up. He could have done that, but I think a lot of people, a lot of beginning players, overlook feats like that. Assuming, it didn't say specifically that the guy was a human, but I'm assuming he was. And humans start off with a feat at level 1. They don't have to wait till level 4. So there, but then again, if the DM was new, that might have been a thing there too. As I sit here and think about it, because going over books, anybody that knows, anybody that's been playing for a while knows, it takes a while to start memorizing some of the stuff in that book. Yeah. But as far as him saying he couldn't have done anything, they were literally pointing out other things you could do. Misty Step. I said Misty Step. I misspoke. Obviously, I mean Misty Step. An AoE attack. He was second level, but he could have done something. He could have done something. Even, I don't know how intelligent that player was. As I said, I can't speak for him. But Thunderstones, or just get really strong ale, throw it on people, and then light the room up with his fireball. Hey, you just created something. It's a makeshift fireball attack. Like, I don't get it. I don't. I mean, I don't know the age of these people either. But I figured out something like that when I was like 18. And let me put it like this. This was a while ago. My 17-year-old son already figured out stuff like that. Well, then again, if you take into consideration he has me for a dad, and I game break, he's going to figure out stuff like that. But just, wow. Just like, I can't wrap my head around this, is what I'm obviously getting at. This. The guy's going, oh, well, there's nothing I could have done. There's nothing, just, no. One, why'd you break away from the group? The first fucking, let me stop. Because, just saying that, you can see how passionate I was about this. The first thing you do is learn, don't split the group up. You were stronger as a team. Any DM would have a field day. Oh, you want to break off from the team? You're weaker. Obviously, this dude just, with everything that was put forth in this post, just showed the guy was just really stupid. I don't know how else to frame that. You're only casting your cantrip. You haven't done anything to try to do AoE spells. You're blaming everything on everybody else. You couldn't even figure out how to make makeshift spells, like use the best of your resources. You just, oh my god. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't understand it. But this is where I'm going to end my little TED Talk rant. Leave your questions, comments, and your thoughts and ideas below in the comments. I do get back to you guys. For those of you that have been with me for a while, I do get back to you guys. I respond. For those of you that have not been with me for a while, hey, I just told you, I respond. I read them and I respond. Let me know. As I said before, I have a shop on Etsy. It's time for the holidays, so look at it. The link to this post will be in the description. I'm King Sway, and I'll see you in the next one, baby. Oh yeah. Later, guys.